Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, viewing, liking, and subscribing and listening. I truly appreciate it. And we will continue to make more Patreons and Spotify episodes exclusively. Bear with me, I'll be making sure to do them. As far as when it comes to free content, we will continue doing free content. And I wanted to actually talk about today The Diary of Alicia Keys by Alicia Keys. So let's get into it. The Diary of Alicia Keys is the second studio album by American singer Alicia Keys. It was released on December 2nd, 2003 by J Records. The album was recorded at several recording studios and production was handled primarily by Keys with contributions from Kanye West and Carey Brothers Jr., who described it as an R&B album. Upon its release, The Diary of Alicia Keys received generally positive reviews from music critics. The album debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 chart, selling 618,000 copies in its first week. It became Keys' second consecutive number 1 debut in the US and spawned 3 top 10 singles. The Diary of Alicia Keys earned Keys 3 Grammy Awards at the annual Grammy Awards. The album has sold over 5 million units in the United States and over 8 million copies worldwide. In 2023, the album was reissued for its 20th anniversary under the title The Diary of Alicia Keys 20, with 9 additional tracks. At the 66th annual Grammy Awards, the album won for Best Immersive Audio Album. So it still won a Grammy even 20 years later for Best Immersive Audio Album. The Grammy Award for Best Immersive Audio Album was first awarded in 2005 as the first category in a new surround sound field. So yeah, she won a Grammy for a reissue of the album. Okay, so I mean, there's things like that, there's possibilities like that. So, you know, if there's reissues, it can go there. So yeah, Keys' debut studio album, Songs in A Minor, was released on June 5th, 2001, debuting atop the US Billboard 200. It went on to sell over 6.2 million copies and earned Keys 5 Grammy Awards, tying Keys with Lauryn Hill as the female artist with the most Grammy Awards won in a single ceremony. The record was since broken by Beyonce and Adele. Keys embarked on the Songs in A Minor tour 2001 to 2002 in support of the album. While touring, Keys started writing songs for her second studio album. Due to the extreme popularity of Songs in A Minor, there was a lot of pressure on The Diary of Alicia Keys to match or exceed that success. Keys, however, felt no pressure to deliver another album due to her experience in the making of Songs in A Minor and in touring to support it, as well as her confidence in songwriting and musicianship. Nor did she want to have many guests on the album. Speaking on the subject, album contributor Carey Brothers had said in 2018 that during the time we definitely loved what we did, and I didn't think that everybody would get it right away because of the setbacks with Columbia and them not understanding it because of it being unique for its time. It was a combination of hip-hop, jazz, R&B, classical, and soul, but it was a new combination of it. It didn't sound like Mary J. Blige. It didn't sound like Erykah Badu. It didn't sound like Missy Elliott. After that, people would ask, how do you feel about the second album? Are you worried about the sophomore jinx? So we gonna leave that to what it is as far as their sense of responding to questions and as far as to just the way things were going to be from there. Because what I want people to know and what I want to actually talk about here, because I've talked about a couple artists when it comes to their second album, and whether it's Brandy, Aaliyah, Monica, even down to B, even down to Adele, even down, like with most people, they don't often get jinxed with their second album, because their second album, they already kind of felt from the first one like, oh no, we gonna switch this up, we making this better. Okay, so in most cases they don't get jinxed, but I want to read up on that. So a sophomore slump, known as a sophomore jinx or sophomore jitters, is when a sophomore album fails to live up to the relatively high standards that occurred during freshman year. It is commonly used to refer to the apathy of students, second year of high school, college, or university, the performance of athletes, singers, bands, second album, television shows, second seasons, films, and video games, sequels and prequels. So yeah, in industry terms, in the world of music, there is a common phenomenon known as the sophomore album curse syndrome, where newly popular artists often struggle to replicate their initial success with their second album, which is often categorized by struggles in changing musical styles. Artists such as, there's different artists, I should say, that may have had this happen, as opposed to may have not had this happen. I'm trying to think of who had this happen to, because there's not many people that this happened to, but it's always been like a thing where it's like, this could happen to you. And so I'm trying to think of who. In most cases, from who I be seeing and who I be looking at, by their second album, they're going all the way off. So we're just gonna continue. Timbaland produced "Heartburn" was recorded at Hit Factory Criteria in Miami. "If I Was Your Woman," a cover "If I Was Your Woman" by Gladys Knight, was originally recorded for a songs of A minor, but remained unreleased until it was reworked with the cover of "Walk On By" Isaac Hayes. The original version was included on the 10th anniversary reissue of Songs A Minor in 2011. Keys was working with Timbaland and a few other people. Dre and Vito's Andre Harris stated that he and Keys crossed paths in the studio while Dre and Vito were working on Usher's album Confessions, and started working together afterwards. So there was people that were really like working with different artists, and I've said this before, where it's like you can work with a producer that could be working with other artists and on different songs, so they're not gonna not make their money working on different beats and knowing where the intellect and everything is going for different people. They're gonna keep working. But yes, predominantly an R&B and soul album, I should say. The Diary of Alicia Keys was largely influenced by 1960s and 1970s music, with Keys calling music from that era some of the best music ever created. Lyrically, the album mostly explores complexities of romantic relationships following their different stages. However, some songs address social issues such as materialism, If I Ain't Got You, and War, Wake Up. The album opens with the intro, Harlem Nocturne, a classical track with hip-hop drums, which introduces the album as a diary in which Keys would express her thoughts. And of course, the song Karma, okay? Horn-infused alternative hip-hop song Karma follows. It contains excerpts from Violin Concerto in D Major Op. 7 by Jones Brahms. I don't know what his name. I don't know how to say his name. John Brahms or Joanne Brahms. I don't know how to. Someone that was very much a German composer. Okay, that's why I couldn't say his name right. But titled after the concept of karma, the song follows the narrator whose former lover wants to restart their relationship despite leaving her before, but she has moved on. The lover is now in the position she was once in, and in being rejected, receiving his just desserts. What goes around comes around. So what I also wanted to read is, yes, You Don't Know My Name follows Keys as a waitress who found love with a customer. The song is interpreted by a spoken word interlude, which is Keys' phone call to her love interest, in which she asks him out. Keys was inspired by Alia's death and the September 11th attacks when writing the album's 6th track, If I Ain't Got You, as those events made her realize what's truly important in life. The soul jazz song condemns materialism. Some people want diamond rings, some just want everything, but everything means nothing if I ain't got you. So I'm going to, pretty much with the title, it's a confessional. We'll just say that it's a very much confessional in a very broad way, the way that it's conceived. I'm gonna pretty much get to the sake of how it would. Well, yeah, it had generally positive reviews, and it triumphs the neo-soul achievements of song A minor, and is a deft mix of modernism and classicism, not to mention street and class. That's based on just one review. Though there was other mixed reviews, but mostly positive reviews. But what I wanted to say was, before I get into the track list, was that in the midst of songs of A minor coming out, like I was saying, there were other artists coming out in 2001. Alicia came out with her self-titled album by July 17th, despite it being released July 7th. And her passing, and even with 9/11, it really messed with people. It really shifted a lot. It shifted music. It did a lot to a lot of people, because she didn't have to be gone that way. There was, to be honest with you, a lot of people want to say it was murder, but we'll leave that for another day. But as far as just her being inspired and feeling as though, that song, If I Ain't Got You, was to let people understand, like, life's too short. and that's the whole point. And I think that it humbled her from the peak of success that she was able to have in the midst of this happening to Alicia and people and 9/11, because yeah, it just, I know that some people don't look at that too deeply, where it's just like, all right, she won awards, and Alicia did pass, but it's like, y'all don't understand. Alicia was out way before Alicia Keys was even turned away from Columbia Records. Okay, like, there's certain people, even whether it's Alicia, Brandy, there's certain people that you look at that came before you, even in rap, where you're just like, I respect this, and I respect you. And I'm gonna tell you this, and this is me keeping it all the way real. You don't turn that off. If you're seeing any artist, don't matter who it is, in any genre, that just feels like, I don't need to do that no more, they don't appreciate what was being able to be given to them completely. As artists, as content creators, period. There's people that are out there having over 1 million subscribers on here, talking and doing different topics and making things much more broader and having all different graphics on their screen and stuff, and that's all cool and great. I'm not doing all that, not necessarily, and I don't need to, but I mean, if I were to, it's something, but I'm not gonna look at, and dare I say, because I know this content creator, I'm not gonna look at Lovely T and be like, I loved you, but now, you reached 100 million. I mean, you reached 1 million subscribers now, and I gotta. No. That my girl. She going off. She making sure y'all have content, making sure y'all could see what's going on from whatever perspective, and y'all rock with it, and y'all do super chats, and someday I'll be able to do that, hopefully. But there's just a sense of you just being able to appreciate things regardless. And I think that, in this day and age, it don't matter if it's pop, it don't matter if it's rap, it don't matter if it's R&B or rock. There's just people that don't care. And I think that it's just very humbling of Alicia Keys to make a song where she's understanding and addressing the fact that life is short, and even down to someone that musically is going to be missed. We have to appreciate those that are here too. Okay? So let's get into the track list. So track 1 is Harlem's Nocturne. Track 2 is Karma. Track 3 is Heartburn. Track 4 is If I Was Your Woman, Walk On By. Track 5 is You Don't Know My Name. Track 6 is If I Ain't Got You. Track 7 is Diary, featuring Tony Tone and Jermaine Paul. Track 8 is Dragon Days. Track 9 is Wake Up. Track 10 is So Simple, featuring Lelo. Track 11 is When You Really Love Someone. Track 12 is Feeling You, Feeling Me, interlude. Track 13 is Slow Down. Track 14 is Samson Knight, Man. And track 15 is Nobody, Not Really. The UK and Japanese edition bonus track, Streets of New York City Life, featuring Nas and Rakim. And then there's the limited edition bonus track, which is The Diary. And then, the special edition bonus track, which has If I Ain't Got You remix featuring Usher. If I Ain't Got You Spanish version featuring Arturo Sandoval. If I Ain't Got You Kanye West remix. You Don't Know My Name, Will You Ever Know It reggae mix. You Don't Know My Name music video. If I Ain't Got You music video, and Diary music video. But in the midst of this time, Alicia Keys did get to work with Usher, and they released My Boo. And I think a lot of people was trying to wonder, I'm not saying I was wondering too much, but I just was kind of feeling like, wouldn't My Boo kind of still be on like a bonus track for her? But no, she released her album before he did, for Confession. So My Boo ended up being his song. And we didn't even know that they were dating back in the day. No one knew. And hey, it ain't our business. But yeah, guys, things come into perspective over time. Nothing can be hidden forever. Everything has to be able to be known after a while. We all have to know something. We all have to learn something and appreciate it. But yes, guys, that is the end of our episode and video, and